Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. With the Royal Rumble just over a week away, what excitement should fans expect on tonight's Smackdown? Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the 28th January edition of the Blue brand, as well as the wildest wrestling news and rumors you need to know, including breaking news on Ronda Rousey, more rumored Royal Rumble returns, death strikes the McMahon family, a Raw star moves to Smackdown, and more. The Good. On the cusp of greatness. The build-up to Seth Rollins vs. Roman Reigns has been fantastic. So fantastic that Wrestlelamia is disappointed the WWE didn't save the match for WrestleMania 38. The WWE has been teasing Rollins vs. Reigns ever since Seth freaking Rollins was drafted to the Blue brand. While the WWE seems fixated on a Reigns vs. Lesnar match for WrestleMania, Rollins vs. Reigns could have been a pleasant surprise. Both men have been hot on the microphone, and the WWE has kept the fans on the edge of their seats by presenting Rollins as a ring general who can outmaneuver and outthink the tribal chief. Tonight's showdown was no exception, with Seth delivering the fantastic line, "I'm a clown and you're the joke." Sadly, WWE is pushing the narrative that Seth has Roman's number so much that it seems like Reigns will emerge with the championship. The WWE missed an epic opportunity with a WrestleMania main event of Rollins vs. Reigns. Who's who? While the Rollins vs. Reigns feud has its minor flaws, there's no denying the program continues to provide twists and turns every week, especially when it comes to the question of who is the heel and who is the babyface. Last week's SmackDown presented Seth in a favorable light, with Reigns healing it up. However, this week's Blue brand saw a role reversal, with Rollins playing the cocky heel who knows how to press his opponent's buttons, and Reigns playing the badass babyface. What's amazing about this is that the WWE is letting both wrestlers play themselves as three-dimensional characters who have heel and babyface qualities. The WWE's focus on the storyline of Seth doing whatever he can to become Universal Champion, and Reigns struggling to find a way to deal with an unorthodox opponent who knows him as well as he knows himself, has made this into a masterpiece. A long overdue match. Did Sonya Deville and Naomi finally have a match? After months of WWE dragging its feet, the WWE finally put Sonya Deville and Naomi into a one-on-one match with a conclusive finish. The potentially promising feud has been mired in what seemed like an endless storyline of Naomi trying to get the WWE's authority figure into a match. While it's good to build things up, the WWE stretched it out for no apparent reason other than they didn't seem to know what to do with it. The match itself was good, although it started a bit sloppy, and while Naomi scored the pin, the WWE left the door open for more rematches as Deville announced that she's competing in the Women's Rumble. This is a good break for Naomi and Sonya as they can get some much-needed TV time with an undercard feud. However, the WWE needs to improve their booking of the storyline as it's been all over the place. The Bad. Cesaro crashes. Cesaro's push is officially over as his team with Ricochet has cemented the Swiss Cyborg status as a jobber to the stars. The Swiss Superman's program with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins suggested Cesaro was finally escaping from the mid-card mire, but that was a false alarm. It should be obvious that Vince McMahon sees Cesaro as a utility player. The big man gets an occasional push when the WWE needs a new challenger for a title or feud, but his role is to make others look good. Tonight's Cesaro-Ricochet match against Sheamus and Ridge Holland exemplifies just how low Cesaro and Ricochet are in the WWE hierarchy. Spoiling Sasha's return. What is it with WWE spoiling its Royal Rumble returns? While it was great to see Sasha Banks return to SmackDown, the WWE should have saved her appearance for the Royal Rumble, even if the boss doesn't compete. The WWE doesn't understand the pop that surprise returns can cause. As Wrestlelamia previously commented, announcing Impact Wrestling's Mickie James entry was smart because it immediately created a buzz that other outsiders might compete, but why keep spoiling surprises? Does the company feel that Ronda Rousey's surprise return will be overshadowed by the return of other wrestlers? The Downright Ugly. Tonight's SmackDown was a good build-up for the huge Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins, but it didn't do much in hyping the Rumble. This week's Raw and SmackDown could and should have been big go-home shows, but apparently the WWE feels the Royal Rumble needs little hype. News. Has Ronda Rousey signed with WWE? Topping today's news is a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter's Dave Meltzer that Ronda Rousey is indeed headed to the 2022 Royal Rumble and that she has signed a one-year deal with WWE. Diamond Dave commented on the situation during an episode of Wrestling Observer Radio. "A year is the deal from what I've heard. From my understanding, I don't know if she's going to be there every week, but my understanding is it's not just like a match at the Rumble and then a WrestleMania match and then gone. It's more than that." The rumors of Rousey's return led to speculation that the baddest woman on the planet might return for a brief series leading to and ending at WrestleMania 38. However, the Melts commented, "She's going to be back as a regular on Smackdown, but she'll probably do some Raw shows. I think she'll be on Raw on Monday. That's kind of what has been hinted at to me. The only thing I know is that she will not be wrestling Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. The match I was told was Becky Lynch." A Rousey vs. Lynch match seems inevitable given the intensity of their 2018-2019 feud. While it's possible Charlotte Flair could be added to make it a true rematch, WrestleLamia prefers to see Rousey and Lynch fight one-on-one. More Royal Rumble surprises? The speculation over which wrestlers will make surprise appearances at the Royal Rumble continues. WrestleLamia discussed some of the rumored returns such as Kurt Angle, Kairi Sane, and Shane McMahon in a previous video, but there are more names being mentioned, including WWE Hall of Famer Ivory. The former WWF Women's Champion and Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling Champion is heading to St. Louis for the Rumble, at least according to a report from PW Insider. However, the news site noted, WWE has plans to film new Table for 3 episodes as well as WWE 24 documentary material, so their being in town does not necessarily mean they are performing Sunday. Whether or not the 60-year-old superstar competes in the Rumble is another question, but fans know there are still spots open in both Rumbles. Another name mentioned is former Divas champion Caitlyn. PW Insider is reporting, "We are told by one source she is expected to be in the Rumble match, but thus far, we can only 100% confirm she's in town for WWE." Be sure to check back later for WrestleLamia's complete coverage of the 2022 Royal Rumble, including a recap and our look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. A death in the McMahon family. WrestleLamia is saddened to report that Vince McMahon's mother, Victoria Askew, has passed away at age 101. Askew reportedly died in her sleep on 20th January. Ms. Askew raised her sons Vincent and Roderick after her husband, Vincent James McMahon, divorced her. She worked in civil service and was an avid tennis player and fan, playing until she turned 94. WrestleLamia extends its heartfelt condolences to Ms. Askew's family and friends. Big E back on SmackDown? Has Raw superstar Big E rejoined his New Day teammates on SmackDown? Let's take a look at the evidence, and you can decide for yourself whether Big E's SmackDown appearance was an official move or a guest spot. In case you missed it, Big E teamed with Kofi Kingston to take on Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, defeating the heel team. Wrestling News' Paul Davis commented on the appearance, noting that Kayla Braxton asked Big E what it was like to officially be back on Friday Night SmackDown. The word officially was also said on WWE's social media accounts, which means that he has been moved back from Raw once again. Nonetheless, a review of WWE.com shows Big E is still listed on the Raw roster, at least at the time of the production of this video. The wording of Big E's appearance was ambiguous, at least in WrestleLamia's opinion. Paul Davis added, "It's unclear if this is part of a trade, and it's unclear why it was decided that he should be back on the Blue brand so soon after the group was broken up in the WWE draft in October. The way Big E was booked on SmackDown, it looks like he is no longer going to be part of the title picture, and he will be wrestling in tag team matches again." The New Day's Xavier Woods is currently sidelined with an injury, which may be the reason Big E is on SmackDown. The big man hasn't done much since dropping the WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar, and this could be a good way to keep Big E in the spotlight until Woods recovers. More news on Jeff Hardy and AEW. Is Jeff Hardy coming to AEW? Wrestling fans eager for a Hardy's reunion will still have to wait, as Brother Nero's non-compete clause is believed to run until this March. Recently, Dave Meltzer discussed the likelihood of Jeff jumping to AEW. "I don't know that Jeff is coming to AEW. I know Matt wants him to come to AEW. There's discussions through different people and you can pass messages, but as far as Tony Khan directly talking, every situation is different. I'm not saying he never talks to anyone from another organization or anything like that. I don't know what he does or doesn't do. But but I know from certain people that he avoided talking to certain people that are top people until the legal right day. As many people, including Meltzer, have observed, AEW is bursting with terrific tag teams, with any number of potential dream matches available should Jeff and Matt reunite. What do you think is next for Jeff? Let us know in the comments below. Brock Lesnar batters Jackass star at restaurant. Brock Lesnar is trending on social media after Barstool Sports tweeted a video of the WWE Champion slamming Jackass star Wee Man into a table. Wrestling News' Connell Rumsey noted that the Jackass crew were on hand in St. Louis in a show of support for Johnny Knoxville's appearance in the Men's Rumble. Just the latest example of how Brock Lesnar is having the time of his life as a kinder, gentler homicidal maniac. Brock Lesnar sports current look in WWE 2K22 trailer. Last but not least, a new trailer for WWE 2K22 has been released, and it shows Brock Lesnar in his current lumberjack persona, complete with ponytail and beard. No word whether fans will be able to choose Brock's original look. Well guys, there you have it, Wrestlalamia's look at the 28th January edition of Smackdown, including the good, the bad, and the ugly, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.